Welcome to Keep On Creating. Welcome back, fellow creators. It's great to have you back. But if you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and leave a hello down below. That's a comment in the comment section. On to today. So I've got to be honest, when I started doing this design with Affinity Designer, I kind of had an embroidery design in mind. That's what my aim was. But by the time I actually went and finished this design, it kind of grew into a lot of different things I could do with it. Now, because the file was vector, my mind just went poof. We could make not only embroidery, we could do some patches, which technically is embroidery, but we could even do pins, we could do stickers, we could do t-shirts, we could do hoodies, we could do this hoodie with a felt print with a halftone overprint over it. Maybe I went a little bit too far, but that's what this channel is all about, is being creative. So with all of that said, let's go create this design. So get your artistic text tool over here, this little A button, or you can hit T and let's just type in creating. And you can see what happens. To get these little blue circles or nodes, and I'm just going to click and drag them. Don't hold shift or anything, and I'm just going to get that. Let's just center on the page a little bit. So with this selected, head back up here to where your fonts are, so your font family. I'm going to double select that, and I am going to select this cool font that I found, this Hello Bravo, and I thought this is the font that we could use to try and create that like stroke style logo inspired. So with this selected, I am just going to alt drag it. So I'm going to click alt or hold down alt, click and drag, and just make a duplicate of it. And because we are going to need to come back and add in some more text, keep on. And I do not like that K whatsoever over here. So we'll come back and sort that out. Okay, with this creating bit, let's first convert this to curve. So just hit Command and Enter at the same time. And you can see it gives us this little group over here. Let's ungroup that. So I'm going to go Command Shift G. And you can see it gives us all these little graphical elements. It's now separated order. I'm going to say letters, I'm not going to say text. Because it's now an actual graphic file. So what I want to do is I want to get a set distance between all of these letters. So I'm going to hit M or go over here and select my little rectangle tool. If you hit M and it selects another tool, just carry on hitting M until it basically selects your desired tool. So I want the rectangle tool. I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag out, and basically I can see at this point I've got a width. If I go over here to my transform little window, I've got about 4.3 wide. So I'm going to just take that down to 4, hit enter, and now that's going to give me my basic shape that I want to do. I'm going to hit 4 by 4, okay, and let's just make this red. So I'm going to drop over here my swatches and go, where is it, colors, and let's just make this red. Okay, so basically so we can see what we're doing. So with this little block over here, what I mean by making sure the spaces are right, so between this R and the E, just going to drag that in, and I've got a perfect 4 by 4 space over there. I'm going to drag this over here, drag that in, so that's 4 by 4, and I'm just going to repeat this with all my letters. I'm just going to drag across, put that there, drag across, put that there, drag across, so you can see how spacing on these letters is really different on everything. So that's the G done. Okay, so that's my 4 by 4. It's going to alt drag this 4 by 4. I'm going to make a 6 by 6 and a 8 by 8. Okay, cool. So with the 6 by 6 letter, I'm going to go here. I'm going to select this bottom part of my G, hit A, and I'm just going to drag it all the way down here, and then I'm going to drag it all the way back up, and I'm just going to snap it to that edge over there. Okay, put my 6 back over here. Now with the C, I am going to have to chop off that little bit over there. So easy way to chop it off, just get your rectangle tool again, M, just going to drag a marquee right over that section over there. I'm going to hold down shift and select both this red section and the black section. Going to go over here to my little subtract button, click on that, and you can see it's minused it off. I'm going to select my C again, hit A to bring my nodes up. So you can see these little nodes over here. Now they're all white at the moment. If you just click and drag over them, make them blue, and those are the ones you want to select. Now I'm going to hold shift while clicking and dragging this out. Now shift makes sure it drags in that really nice straight line, as you can see I've done there. And I'm going to drag it all the way to the edge of that A. So you can see it's really nice and just kept in sync. I'm going to get my little 6x6 over here. I'm not going to drop it over here again. And I'm just going to make sure that everything here, because you can see that A needs to go up a bit, which means all of this needs to go up. The T needs to go up, the C needs to go up, and that little top of the I needs to go up. Hit A, get my nodes, drag them all over there. I'm going to drag them all the way up and then just kind of bring them back down and snap them to the top of my letter there. So now I know that that is, I've got a space of 6 over here and a space of 6 over there, all nice and symmetrical. Ooh. Okay, so with this letter I, I'm going to take this letter I, I'm going to alt drag it over here. I wonder if that's going to be the same width. I am going to just delete the top of it. Okay, so just get my nodes, select them, hit backspace or delete, and off they go. I'm going to alt drag that again, and I'm just going to rotate it 90 degrees. So hold shift and you can see it rotates 90 degrees and it says R90. That's rotated 90. Is it the same width as that? Should be. Yep, perfect. Okay, so that just saved me a little bit of time going to my rectangle tool, trying to figure out how wide it was there. I've got the perfect width and that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to drag it in to here. I'm going to drag that one over here. Okay, and I'm going to select my G, hit A, get my nodes up, click and drag those little nodes, drag them all the way out to this side over here. I'm going to select this rectangle over here, hold Alt, click and drag them all the way to the edge of that N, and then just drag them all the way out over here. Now what I want to do too is I want to Alt drag it all the way to the top of the G. So you can see I just dragged to the top of the G. I'm going to bring it back out here. I'm going to make this space a 6x6. Okay. And likewise for this side over here, I get my 6x6, just drag it to the edge of that C. Alt drag this all the way to the edge. Just zoom in here, make sure we get it nice 6x6. Oh, just keep holding that shift, drag that out. There we go. Okay, quick zoom out there. And just drag and put that back over there. So I've got my little elements coming on here. Now what I need to do is basically select this top piece over here. I'm going to alt drag this all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to have, this is going to be the 6x6 again too. So grab my little 6, I'm going to click and drag that all the way out. Just make sure it snaps there. Okay, yeah, that's all there. Cool. And we're going to need another one extending past the edge of this G here too. So just select this one over here, click and drag, bring it all the way down, make sure it snaps. And we've got the, yeah, that's cool. Okay, just drag those right off the page over there. Okay, so we've got our keep on bit at the top and our creating bit over here. What I need to do is just quickly adjust this keep on bit. So let's just zoom in here. And how can we do this? First of all, we need to convert this. Is it converted yet? To outlines? Nope, it's still a text. So let's just Command Enter it. Make sure it's converted to a graphic. Just Command Shift G, ungroup it. We've got our individual letters or curves going on here. Just going to bring them all together. Just going to hit this little plus sign, add them together. Now the easiest way to do this, I think, is if I hit A, I'm going to get at my nodes. I'm going to drag the selection of nodes over this section of the K. I'm just going to simply just drag them in. Okay, create a little angle there. The only thing that we're going to have to adjust is this little bulge going on here. So select that little node, delete it, select this little node, delete it, and let's just clean up that angle. So just drag that nicely in there. Likewise for this bottom one, you can see how it's going a little bit astray. Just drag it in. And that already looks it looks like a K. It doesn't look like an H anymore. So now we're going to start cutting these lines up here a little bit. So I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to get my rectangle, one of my rectangles. Hold down Alt, click and drag this in here. I'm probably going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's make it, where's my transform? Get my transform palette up. Should we go, let's go 12 by 12. Okay. So 12 by 12, I'm going to take it to the edge over here. Let's hope I get this right. Click drag. Okay, and just drag that in there. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do, I'm going to make another duplicate of that. Okay, and let's rotate this about, I basically want to get a 60-degree line. So if I rotate it, says R30, that means that this angle is 30 and this angle here is presumed is 60. So with that 60-degree angle selected, I think which way we want to go with the bottom one is we're going to cut it this way, and the top one we'll kind of cut in that way. So we'll put this on the edge over here. So we'll start with this one, the edge over here. So you can see that's why I put this block over here, so that we could basically come in and I could just cut it right there. And I'm just going to extend this all the way down here and extend that block all the way up there. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And likewise for this top section over here, I'm just going to actually get my rulers and I'm going to snap it right to that edge. Show my rulers. I'm going to take my block over here, I'll drag it up. Just going to flip this, should we flip it that way? Yep. And I'm just going to put it right there where it intersects those two lines. So right there, just don't want it to snap. So right there. Okay. And I'm going to take this section over here to get my ruler on that side. It's on the outside. Click those, Alt drag them right across to this side. Let's just flip them right over. Just click on this little button over here. It flips them. And I'm going to hold shift, drag them in right to where they intersect again, right there. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now basically we can extend these out right all the way out there, all the way out there, and they should, if we haven't drawn our black lines too far out, we can just cut everything up at the same time. So with all of them selected, I'm just going to hit this little plus over there so they're all the same. I'm going to select all my black bits. So I'm going to select the creating, the EITA. Wait a minute. Okay, let's just select these two bits here. So we're going to select those out bits, those outer bits, and we'll select the G and these two sections over here, well, over here and over here. I'm going to add them together. Okay, then select my red bit and subtract. So all we're left with is that little section there. You can just actually move those out the way now. Not too sure we actually need them, but we'll just leave them over there as sizes. Okay, so we've got our creating bit. Now the only other thing I would really like to do is just to break it away from the font again, is let's just start joining them up. So I'm going to select my R, hit A, get those nodes up and drag them into this section of the E. Select my E, get those nodes, drag them into the A. Select the T, let's join this bit over here. The I can't do anything and the N can't do anything. So it just takes it that little step further. That's good. Okay, so it's going to bring this in to here. Let's just bring it to the edge of that A. We can drop it in a bit. So it's to the edge of the A and to the edge of that C over there. It's probably going to change a little bit when we start thickening up these lines. So with everything selected, so I'm just going to get my move tool, which is V, this top tool up here, click and drag everything over there. I'm not going to unite everything or add everything together at this point. I want to skew it, so I'm going to go to this edge over here and I'm going to click and drag, and I want to try to get that 15 degrees again. So basically you can just type in 15 up here and minus 15 over there, and that'll give us our 15 and 15. So that gives us that cool dynamic range of a logo there. Let's get our circle going around this. So just looking at this, I'm just getting my rectangle tool, click and drag. My center point's around about there, so just drag that to the center. I'd say that's the center over there, slightly off. Okay, so on there, that's cool for now. We're probably just going to have to adjust it to the side anyway, because it is this dynamic circle thing we're creating. Get your ellipse tool up, which is this tool over here, and I'm just going to basically go to about the center of it, click, drag. Now when you're clicking and dragging, hold Command, Alt and Shift, and basically you'll get a nice circle from the center. I've actually let go of my Alt, and let's just drag it to about there. Let's just flip these colors around and take away that fill so we can actually see where we're going to intersect this. I'm going to pull up my stroke layer. I'm going to make this a bit thicker. Okay, somewhere around about there-ish. And let's just put this on the back. So basically what I mean with the back, you can basically go Command Shift and open square bracket, and I'll send it all the way to the bottom. So the bottom of your layers. And I'm thinking that's probably too far out. So let's hold down Command and Shift and just drag it in. Okay, so I'm going to put that to somewhere around about there. I'm wondering if we shouldn't put it there. You have to bring it to about there-ish, I think. Yeah. Okay, so now what we need to do is if we select our bottom section here and just this group, get all these things grouped together or unite them together. So I'm just selecting all my layers of my black bits here. Let's make sure, yep, got them all selected, and I'm going to hit my little plus. You can see we've got this is going to be our creating layer. Okay, so that's our creating layer, and this is our keep on layer. Okay, so with our creating layer, I've got that selected. I'm going to head over to my stroke, and I'm just going to thicken it out slightly. So I'm just going to get that little bit of thicker. Just going to select my swatches here and make sure that's black. Okay, just carry on making that a little bit thicker, almost to match the width of our red strokes. So somewhere around about there, not too over chunky, somewhere around there. And also I want these edges to be nice and sharp. So let's select this join over here, which is a mitre join, and you can see it's created that nice sharp edge. Let's get rid of those rulers. Created that nice sharp edge. It has dumped them on this edge over here. If we take up our mitre, you can see on this edge over here, these little edges there, it has capped them. Okay, so if I just take up my mitre, I'm just going to bang that all the way up to like 6, and you can see it's given us our nice sharp edges again there. So that's definitely what I'm looking for. Now the only part that I think we're going to have a problem with is where this cuts in over here. Okay, so what we can do is, you can see how this part kind of extends further, and that's really short. Likewise, a short on this side, we could extend it a little bit further on that side. So I'm going to select these two little nodes over here and those two little nodes over there. So I've just selected my graphic and I've hit A to get my nodes up, and I'm just going to hold Shift and click and drag. Now that's going to keep my same angle. I'm going to kind of match the same sort of size. I've got this going on this side over here. Okay, so I'm going to drag that out. And likewise for these 4 nodes going over here. Okay, I'm going to click and drag and just drag them out, so you can kind of see they're kind of matching one another. I'm definitely going to have to do the same with these 4 up here. So just select those 4, just drag them out so they kind of match there. Now what I can do is I can take this circle and I can move it probably up to the side slightly and just make it a little bit bigger, so it kind of intersects where I want it. So it's going to come in and it's going to intersect over here, which is cool. I am going to cut it a little bit short anyway, so we could actually bring that in a little bit. Okay, yeah, we could bring it in there because it's going to cut there. That's cool. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so this keep on bit, let's just bring this down. And what I'm going to do first is, with this creating section, I've got to convert these outlines. So let's head over to our layers. I'm just going to dump all of these ones. Which size is that? I think we did which size are we doing here? I think we did I don't know what we did. That must have been the 6. Nope, it's going to be this one here. Okay, just get that. Yeah, this is going to be this size here. So let's just dump all the rest of these. Let's take those out. Dump all of them. Okay, and what we're going to do now is we are going to select our creating bit. So that's this section over here. I'm going to go up to layer and I'm going to expand the stroke. So now you can see we've got the curves and the creating bit. I'm going to select both of those and hit this add button, make it into one just clean object, so we don't have to worry about a stroke on that one. Now what I'm going to do is select our keep on bit, and I'm going to add a stroke to that. Let's just get rid of this. Oh no, that's a rectangle. So let's get our keep on bit and let's just move that all the way to the top, just easier to deal with. Go to the stroke layer, give it a black stroke. Okay, and let's just expand that out a little bit. Make sure we got that mitre join on them, so we've got those sharp edges. Just see how that reads. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, obviously we can't make it as thick as this bit over here, otherwise it's going to look like one big mega chunk. Okay, so with your keep on bit selected, so do the exact same. So you're going to go File, expand your stroke. Okay, now we've got those two layers going. Go back to your layers, select them both, and hit that plus button. And we've got that keep on creating section. So I'm just going to make sure they do line up. That lines up there, and that lines up there. Perfectly what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's select our red circle. Okay, with that selected, going to expand the stroke on this one. Layer, go down to expand stroke, expand it. With our stroke, we don't have to join anything together because it's done already. Only thing I'm going to do is take this little button or this little circle over here, square circle, circle square. So I'm going to select my red circle. Okay, I'm going to make that black. So just select the fill color, make that black. I'm going to select our little square over here and put it right in up against that layer there. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to drag it all the way over here. So basically I'm getting the same distance from this little area over here where I'm going to break it through. So it just looks nice and symmetrical. I'm just going to drag it all the way down to here. I can actually just drag it a bit further. I'm going to hold down Alt and click and drag, do the exact same over here. Just push that in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to bring them all the way to the top. So you can see the bottom over there, just in case. Always just make sure everything's at the top when you're punching stuff through. I'm going to add them together, click on that little button over there, select my circle and just click minus. And you can see now it's already, boom, it's on fire. So we're going to click on this keep on creating bit, just select it with your move tool. I'm going to make a duplicate of it. So you can either click and just drag it onto this little layer button over there and it creates a duplicate. Now with my bottom layer selected, I am going to make it white and a white stroke. Okay, now what I want to do is drag it to the top. Okay, so make sure they're all the way to the top, because I wanted just that little cutout over there, and I definitely wanted to cut out over there. So I'm going to make that stroke a little bit thicker. Okay, just like about there. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to expand that stroke. So you just hit up to your layer, drop down to expand stroke. It's expanded. I'm going to hit A. Okay, and I'm going to drag those little nodes all the way down, past that section over there. Now you can see I've just managed to miss that section over there. So, whew, didn't see that one. Okay, so with my stroke layer selected, I'm going to copy it. Okay, and I'm going to select my creating section, and I'm just going to say punch it through. Now I'm going to select my circle, just paste, select them both, and punch them through. So now you can see I've punched it through there, and I've punched it through that little section over there. That's starting to look pretty cool. So let's just add a little bit more depth to this. So I'm going to select my keep on bit and my creating section and the circle section. So I've got all those three selected, and I'm just going to hit this add function. I'm just going to go Apple Command X and just delete all those layers. Just Command V, paste it in. So I'm literally left with my one layer. So that's going to be my master layer. Okay, now what we can do is take this master layer and duplicate it. So I'm just going to drag it over here, and let's just create, say this is my outline layer. Okay, with my master layer selected, so I'm going to select that one again. I'm going to select it, and I'm actually going to make it white. Now with this outline layer, I'm going to make sure that in my stroke I've selected a black from here or here, and I'm going to head over to my stroke, and I'm going to pump that stroke right up, making sure I've got that nice sharp edge to it. Let's just hit that 6 again. Yep, that's what we're looking for. Okay, just make it nice and chunky. That's cool. Something like that. Now what I want to do is I'm going to expand that stroke. So layer, expand stroke. Okay, expanded that stroke. I'm going to hit it over here where it says divide, hit that divide. Now it's filled everything in there, and I'm going to hit add, and you can see we've got this keep on creating bit there. So as we see it here, that would work really well as embroidery, just nicely simple, this white. We could possibly just drop the black completely if we wanted to, but just have it just as we see it there. Just a few little tweaks I would recommend is if we just go in here, just don't drag everywhere, but just zoom right in here, and you can see this letter P just kind of like hovers there a bit. So if I hit A, when I've selected my master layer, I'm going to hit A, get these little nodes up. I'm just going to simply drag them down just so they kind of line up with that line there. And you can see how that just finishes it off. We could possibly do the same with the letter T and this top of the I. So if I just drag that and let's just drag it just about there. So it's kind of the same gap there and there. I never saw this before. And that just works really well. Nice and simple. If you wanted to go and add like something over here, we could just get some text up, go EST20. Okay, still in our font style, which is great. It's going to drag that nice and big. Just try to select some of those nodes. Okay, cool. Just Command Enter, converting it into our graphics from a text to a graphics. So that's just Command Enter. Outlines, ungroup it, Command Shift G. Okay, so it's a group over here. Just hit that Command Shift G. Got all my curves going over here. It's going to add them all together to make a one graphics. I'm just going to type in EST20 because that's what it is. Okay, I'm just going to drag this in here. Let's make this white, and we can also make the stroke white because we're going to have to thicken this up. Now the trick is, you may think, well, how are we going to skew this to the same there? We know the angle, so we can just go over to our transform over here, and we can just type in 15 and -15 because we did everything earlier. We skewed this by using our little preset figures over there, so we know the numbers. And I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger, just drag it down. Now we can add a stroke to that, just make it a little bit thicker. Obviously when we're doing embroidery, we want these lines to be at least, I would say, 1 mil wide. 1 mil you're kind of safe, and you know you get a good clean embroidery, or cleanish embroidery should we say. So I've just drawn a block there. I'm just going to take this stroke off, and basically what I'm doing is I'm seeing how wide this block is. So I'm going to go to my transform tool, and you can see at this point it's 3.2 millimeters wide. So that is a good width to embroider. But the only thing we haven't checked is that, which is really wrong, we need to basically select all of this, okay, and then we're going to click on this little button right over here. It's not a little button, you can see it's like a little anchor. I'm going to click on that. What it actually does is it links these two sizes together. So you can see it's unlinked at the moment, and it's now linked. So it's linked those two. So when I type in over here, for instance, I say 70, because I'm looking at 70 mils high, it keeps everything in proportion. If I didn't have that linked and I clicked on 70, wonk, it looks really rubbish. So we'll keep that linked, and we'll type in 70. And there we go, we got a nice in proportion size logo. So let's just try that again. I'm just going to bring up that rectangle tool. Let's get a scroll through it here. Rectangle, click and drag. Okay, and I'm looking for a minimum of 1 mil. Just on the letter T is the easiest one to do. So I'm going to go here, go to my stroke layer, just bring that in. Okay. So you can see we definitely need that a little bit thicker. So if I go width of 1 point, maybe just a touch more, 1.2. Yeah, 1.2 is just over that 1 mil mark, which is, I'm happy with that, and I know that we'll be able to embroider that out, and it's going to come out quite clearly. So let's just expand the stroke on that one. So layer, expand the stroke, go back to our layers palette, select both of our little layers there, the ESTs, combine them together. Let's just make sure that that fits in there nice and snug. What it says that what we need to do is just line this a little bit better. Let's line it to the inside of that G, so it's tiny little bit off. And now if we could go in and measure our little distances between those, but I think that's pretty cool as it is right there. Now that is our finished design, looking awesome. It's a nice simple color to do. If we had to screen print this, I mean, that would look awesome. That would look cool as a badge, an embroidery, a sticker. Whew. Yeah. And that's how we create that and this. Make sure to follow us on our social, all listed over here below, and smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. And that brings us to the end of another episode. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.